What's up, everybody? It's Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/the Hardy Construction Videos Comp. And
Red Rimmed Anus.
today's film is
Trollhunter, 2010.
Trollhunter, aka Trollhunter, 2010, directed by Andre Overdahl, written by him as well. A group of students investigates a series of mysterious bear killings, but learns that there are much more dangerous things going on. They start to follow a mysterious hunter, learning that he is actually a troll hunter. Starring Otto Jesperin, Robert Stoltenberg, Knut Nyrum, and a bunch of other people. Also, Thomas Alf Larson. So this film was made in 2010. I remember hearing a lot of things about it. So, Danny, why did you pick this film?
I have always seen the cover of it on Netflix, and I've always wanted to watch it because I heard it's actually good.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I don't know if I guess I really didn't really want to watch it because I didn't watch it until you said it. And then when you did say, let's watch this movie, I was like, all right, whatever. I don't know what it is that I didn't want to watch about it for some reason.
It sounds stupid. Like, the name of it is stupid, you know?
Yeah, I think because usually the word...
Like a horrible B movie.
I didn't actually think it was going to be stupid because I heard only good things. I haven't heard one negative thing about this movie at all, actually. Because I heard it was a minor hit when it was all online and stuff. It sort of is like what was that zombie movie that we saw? Oh shit, the one about the snow, the snow zombies, Red Snow.
Dead Snow.
Dead Snow, right? Red Snow is a sequel. It's sort of like that, where it's like a foreign minor hit, and then people just really like it, and then you watch it, and you're like, oh, it's okay. I mean, that's what I thought about this one, but looking at the poster itself, I thought it was pretty neat, the imagery of it, and I was like, this isn't going to live up to what I think it is, because I saw, like I just showed Danny a video game that was from PlayStation 2 called the Shadow of the Colossus.
Wait, who's Danny? That's not my name.
Oh, that's right, whatever. Red Rimmed Anus.
Red, yeah,
I got it, right? Did I get it right? Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
You got it.
So I showed him this game called Shadow of the Colossus, which is a really amazing PlayStation 2 game from way back when. Cool. It was a game I almost played to the end, but I got lost on my horse in the game. It basically, in that game, you're fighting these giant, huge creatures, not unlike Trollhunter, which is pretty cool, which is something I wish they had more money to actually have. But apparently the guy who is directing the new It remake... I think I told you about this last while we were talking. Did you see the new look of how Pennywise looks?
Yeah, it's better than the other stuff I saw.
No, the whole suit and everything. He looks like a Victorian era clown.
They're going for like scary, like he's supposed to look like a clown.
That's what people say is that people tend to say is that when a clown tries to look scary, it's not really scary, and the fact that Pennywise in the original one,
what's scary about him is that
he looks like a regular clown.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's supposedly in talks to, or is slated to direct the Shadow of the Colossus film. Now, like, I just showed you like a little clip of that game. Do you think it's possible to make that a movie? I mean, they did it with Trollhunter in a sense.
I mean, they had Legolas running up a fucking Oliphant or whatever.
Jesus Christ. What was that movie? Oh, I'm thinking about the Hobbit prequels. Oh, my God.
No, those are not good.
Did you watch those?
Understand. I watched 1.5 of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, listen, they weren't horrible, but they were like, why were these made? Like, they could have made that into one film. I
mean, I know this is like a controversial, a lot of people. I read the books, the book, and I loved it. I've read it multiple times, and that movie was not the book at all.
Wait, but compared to the book, how great was that scene with Galadriel and Gandalf karate fighting the ghosts on top of that wreck area? Like, they were doing karate. It was pretty awesome. I mean, like space karate or ghost karate. It was insane.
Right. It's just like the book.
Poor Peter Jackson. What happened? Anyway, so Trollhunter... The reason why I bring up Shadow of the Colossus is because Shadow of the Colossus, you're fighting these giant creatures, and Trollhunter actually has a sequence like that towards the end of the film, but the film is done in found footage. I mean, it really is like this is done in
high quality found footage, though.
Yeah, but this is done like old school found footage way. Like, you know how usually now found footage they'll. We're doing pretty well for found footage movies that we watch on this show.
We haven't seen many horrible ones.
No, I don't think so. I mean, like that last, like I think for now the one that I think that they kind of did the best way of incorporating found footage was what was that vampire movie that we saw where the Asian guy was turning into a vampire?
Yeah,
Infected,
where they're traveling. That guy has like a brain disease or something.
Yeah, it was a really good. I can't think of it, but it was this vampire.
The cover has him blowing his brains out, and his head's just like split open.
Yeah, it's a great little vampire film. Oh fuck, I can't think of the name. But anyway, it was a found footage film.
I'll look it up. Keep talking.
But it was sort of done as like for a Travel Channel show. And all the footage was put together. This is done like fucking
Afflicted.
Afflicted, right? That was a good, fun like little vampire film. You should check it out. Anyway, but that was done like Travel Channel style. Like we were watching an episode of a show that eventually just turns worse and worse and stuff. And to me, my favorite one of all time is obviously Norway the Curse, where it was done as a documentary, all edited together. Trollhunter is old school found footage in the sense that it starts out with not subtitles, but like text on screen saying these people.
Yeah, like Blair Witch.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Blair Witch, and just this is like you can tell this movie's not going to have an ending when it has an opening like that.
Well, when it had that opening, I was like a little fearful. Honestly, I was like, I don't know, I see where this is going, but it didn't follow pattern after that.
No, it didn't. I mean, they kind of say this is a comedy, and I didn't really like. I can see where the comedy comes from. Maybe they thought this was funny in where was this shot in? Norway.
Norway.
Was that Sweden?
No, Norway is its own country.
Okay, very good. I'm a very worldly person. So what do you call a person from Norway? A Norwinder?
Norwegian.
Right, exactly.
What's wrong with you?
So Norwegian person was probably laughing, hysterically at this movie. Like, I don't know what's funny about this movie. Like, there's only one part that I thought was...
there's little funny parts, like where it gets rabies, and like it's kind of like a funny...
The funny part, also, the only funny part I saw is when they had the second camerawoman doesn't believe that it's trolls that did it, and he goes, "What do you think, a squirrel did this?" And then I could bet people in Norway were going nya 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 nya, laughing, and they're like dropping their hot dogs on the floor or their sausages, schnitzels and shit like that. But anyway, Trollhunter is supposedly it's a comedy drama fantasy. I don't think it really is a horror film myself. I mean, it's horror.
I don't get drama. I don't get any drama from this.
Well, I mean, there is that one dramatic part with the hunter Hans when he talks about how he had to kill pregnant trolls and stuff. And plus, also, my idea of a troll is not like I guess I don't know. I've always thought of trolls as small little men, like anthropomorphic.
Trolls. I always think of trolls as like Lord of the Ring trolls, but it's like the same thing with like vampires. They could take it and
I've
change
never,
it.
For some reason, because I guess I'm not up on my Norwegian.
You're thinking of gnomes.
Fantasy.
You're thinking of gnomes.
It could be right, yeah. Because I always thought, but whenever I've seen cartoons in the past, trolls have always been shorter than people. Like I've always thought of trolls as short, and also we saw the movie Trolls 2, but I never thought. I just always thought trolls as small little people. And
those weren't even trolls; they were goblins. They just called it.
You're right; it was called Goblin too. That's true. Trolls, goblins. But Trollhunter was the first time I've ever even thought of trolls being gigantic, and I was like, why are trolls gigantic? But then realized it's fucking from Norway, so they would probably know what a troll should look like because they're the ones that probably that and Santa Claus and all that shit. Although Santa Claus I think was German or something. Anyway, so Trollhunter starts out how? Red Rim Nanus.
It starts out with these college students.
That's a disgusting name, by the way, but go ahead.
What? What's
your name?
disgusting?
Your name, Red Rim Nanus, is disgusting.
So
go ahead.
Okay. It starts out with Thomas, Johanna, and Callie. I'm not sure how to say it.
I think his name is Callie because I swear to you, there was, I think, the girl with the dragon tattoo. There's a guy named Bloomquist, and I listened to the audiobooks, and they keep calling him Kalle Bloomquist. So I assume his name is
Kalle Bloomquist.
Kalle, yeah, Kalle is the name.
Well, anyway, it starts with these three college students. For some reason,
Kalle is the cameraman, Joanna is the sound woman, and Thomas is the interviewer, director.
Yeah, he's the anchor. Well, they're following up. They want to make a student film about this illegal bear poacher guy that is like killing bears without a permit or something. I don't know why they would choose to do that, but that's their project. And then they start following this guy around and like basically stalking him and get sucked into his world of troll hunting.
Yeah, that man is played by Otto Jespersen. He's playing Hans, which is I didn't believe that beard for a second, but he plays the character really well. He's very like.
Oh, is that not a real beard?
It didn't look like a real beard to me, but I'm sure since he's from Norway, he has a real beard. It just didn't like he just didn't look realistic to me for some reason. Like he sort of looked like a comic book character.
He looked like a Norwegian Walter White to me.
To me, he looked like a Norwegian, like Indiana Jones sort. You know, that sort of gruff. You know, I got to do my job. I like. He's my favorite character in the movie, Hans, because he's basically,
he's awesome.
He's basically just like in any B movie or B action horror movie. He's like the character that's like the Snake Plissken of the movie. Do you know what I mean? So he's sort of that, where he's an ultra stylized, sort of to himself, kind of gruff older man who's an adventurer. So I didn't give a shit about the other three characters. I could give a shit less about, like Thomas, Joanna. They sort of come off a little bit of, well, Thomas comes off obnoxious, the host of the show.
Well, they're supposed to be obnoxious. They're
I guess because they're supposed to be
students.
Are they millennials? What was it, 2010? Are they pre-millennial?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Millennial is anything born in the 1980s to like the year 2000.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway,
we're like on the cusp of millennial and X.
So yeah, they come off a little. Well, Johanna, like, literally is, you could have had a floating boom mic for that girl in the movie, because that's all she is in the movie. She really is like, and it's not trying.
Well, she's way more than Cal or whatever.
Kali.
She's
well, at least Kali, he's not on screen. He's just a camera floating around. But Johanna has no, like, she's there to sort of scream. So which is probably like the worst type of female character in this movie, that she does nothing. And Thomas is sort of the obnoxious guy, and you're waiting for him to get killed, and he does not. But anyway, so they follow
he gets
Hans.
Rabies, so he'll die.
Right, that's true. So luckily, like 15 minutes into this film, because I'd say to me always the most obnoxious thing about found footage films is we have to get to know the characters for the first 15 minutes, because it's done in real time. Do you know what I mean? So like any other movie we can watch, the first 15 minutes, at least there's successions of scenes going on, so it's not like we're watching people getting to know them in real time, and we have no way of like getting information fast enough. So that's the thing that I'm always like, oh Jesus Christ! Whenever I watch a found footage movie, it's just so fucking annoying with that stuff. But here it's
they did say in the beginning that they found all this footage and cut it together.
Right.
So they
it's thankfully it's not as annoying as like Blair Witch. I think you have to know the characters 30 minutes before anything happens in that movie. But here, luckily, it's just half that time, and they eventually do see. You know, I think it's about 15 or 20 minutes into the beginning of this film, because the film is like I think about an hour and 44 minutes. I would tell you, when I saw that running time, I was like, oh boy, on the Netflix timeline, I was like, what did Danny do? And it was so funny. I was like, I was going to force myself to watch the first hour of this movie. So like, I literally saw it at night. I woke up, I had 3 hours of sleep. I woke up in the morning, watched another half an hour.
Sleep?
I don't know. I couldn't sleep. I woke up like 4 o'clock in the morning, watched another half an hour of it, went to sleep. And then in the morning, like around 11 o'clock, I watched the last half before I had to leave. I was like, okay, so I got this movie out of the fucking way. And then when I come back home, thinking Danny, he had seen this already. It was like, oh, I got another hour. I got to watch the movie. I was like, oh, Jesus, can I just get this movie out of my mind? Anyway, so the first 15 minutes of the movie has them meeting each other. They meet Hans, and Hans is like, you know, you guys come with me. And usually they're like, well, actually the first 10 minutes, he's like, leave me alone. Then he says, all right. Because they confront him at this like closed off area, right, in the forest.
Yeah.
And that's when he says, "Oh, you want to see it? Then come on." I guess he's just sort of tired of doing this work, and he does. You know, his character comes off as somebody who doesn't want to do this work anymore because he doesn't get paid.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Like, I couldn't imagine being that dedicated to anything.
Yeah, I would think that job would be for somebody who's a psychopath, and honestly, that's not. Like, that is such a huge...
pay him a lot. He lives in a fucking
He's the only guy.
Trailer park.
He's the only guy that does it. So you would think, you know what I mean? And plus, there's people that show up at the end, you know, trying to get the footage. Like, why don't they hire some of those guys out to fucking do it? It doesn't... Like, that's such a huge, stupid plot thing that's happening in the film. And you don't have to really, like, sit down and be like, oh, you know, with a fucking, you know, with a checkboard writing down everything that's wrong with the film, because it's not that type of film where it's, like, super complicated.
Well,
Biggest...
Well, you say your thing, actually.
It doesn't make any sense two ways that you only have one guy doing this, and then you would hide this away from I guess the public. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if there's trolls, you let people know that there's fucking giant monsters out there. You tell people there's bears, right? So tell people there's fucking giant mutant men. What are people not gonna? Go ahead. What's your point?
Yeah, but then everybody would freak out and try to attack it. And
well, then good. You want listen. These people are there. They're hired to kill them, right? So there you go. Then you have more people wanting to kill them.
They're hired to contain them, and when they get escaped, then they kill them.
Yeah, but what are they containing them for? Like, what's? Yeah, listen, I agree. I think they should leave the trolls alone, but, it's whatever. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I'm standing up for the trolls. No,
I agree. No, I felt bad for the trolls, because the trolls really can't, they're born that way. They can't really, there's nothing they can do about it.
Poor trolls. I was thinking, like, the biggest plot hole, but I don't care, because there couldn't be a movie without it, is none of those people, with the exception of Hans, would allow cameras. Like, they would definitely be like, no, and they would, like, confiscate it. Definitely, like that's what happened at the end. But
wouldn't you want to document this if you're part of like a troll hiding society? Troll, what is it? The TSS, I think they were called, the troll something.
Troll security service or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like, wouldn't you want to document where they're moving and what they look like and shit? They documented it by fucking having a plastic paper of rocks drawings, so just so you see they didn't change. Like, you can take a photo of that shit and do it the same way. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
it's like
it's old school.
It doesn't make any sense. If you're building giant electrical fences and you can't take a fucking photo of rocks and see if they change, get out of here.
Maybe Norway hasn't gone down with digital cameras yet. We don't know.
But they said the trolls didn't even come out on the what was it, the satellite photos. Trolls don't come out on the satellite photos for some reason. I don't know. Whatever. Listen, if you keep thinking about like the actual weird scientific shit in this movie, you'd be like, this is stupid. Like, what's the point of this? Like, what's going on? I think this would have been
it's meant to be just fun.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can't think of this movie like that.
Christian thing is like so silly and
funny. I really think this film would have been amazing if it was done as a narrative film instead of found footage. I think it was cool. Listen, visually, this is really cool, and I think they did for the graphics that they have. It's really well done. Like,
yeah, there was like a $4 million budget.
Yeah, I mean, it's done really well, and you get to see some cool imagery. But they could have done it as a narrative film too. You know what I mean? Like, that scene where they're in the car at the end driving away from the huge giant troll, like the super troll, I guess they call it, and you see the hand coming down and they're running between, they're driving between the feet, like, that's fucking cool. And then you see, all that stuff is great. And when they freeze the troll, that's only like when the special effects get a little tricky, when they kill the trolls and they turn to stone and stuff like that. It like turns really weird graphics. But
I don't even know. They must have had like people in giant suits with green screens and shit.
Like this, I think this guy should have been directing the fucking Shadow of the Colossus. I think he played Shadow of the Colossus and made this movie. I'm not kidding. I really think, because it's so similar in that last shot. Even the poster.
I've only seen bits of Attack on Titan, but it's kind of like a similar premise, right? Like these giant monsters.
Yeah, right. Apparently, but you know what's funny is, like, you know how we wonder why the Japanese don't make their own movies based on their own comic books and stuff like that. And they made an Attack on Titan in Japan. It was so funny because there's no white people here going nuts that they casted all like Japanese characters in the movie, because the characters are all supposed to be English except for one character, and they're all Japanese in that version. But you don't see white people go nuts. And like they apparently they made 2 movies out of it, and it's real awful. And I was like, how do you fuck that up? It's like human sort of Godzillas, and they're trying to get into this little town full of people and eat them.
Yeah, I saw like the first 2 episodes.
But the thing is, the comic book is still going on, so that's probably why they have to make up their own ending, and they always fuck it up. Like, they don't, for some reason, they can't adapt their own fucking movies for some reason. Not even Akira is adapted correctly, if you ever watched that. Anyway, let me get out of here with that stuff. What are some positives about this movie that you liked?
I think that the character design, like the creature design.
Yeah, the trolls have a really cool, like, there's certainly like a way that European art looks. I mean,
I love the one that was under the bridge. That one was so cool.
Yeah, he was cool. And I like I sort of even like the ones that were inside the cave that were farting.
Yeah,
they
were
sleeping.
The hairy ones.
They sort of reminded me. Yeah, they looked like traditional sort of troll. Like, and I think they were just like probably 10 feet tall instead of like huge like the other ones. But there's a certain sort of aesthetic that European artists draw. Like if you look at fantasy art, like Lord of the Rings type of art, stuff like that, or like even even though Jim Henson's stuff is not European. Like if you look at, though he's a white guy, so who the hell knows? Jim Henson style, like the Dark Crystal, like you look at that kind of artwork where it's like really fantasy and it's like flowy. I can't really explain how the art looks. But
I do know what you mean.
There's a certain way that European artwork looks.
I think it's like I don't know. This might sound silly, but it's all because it's like set in nature, so it's like all feels
probably
like
right.
Land kind of creatures and shit. Like it exists separate from society.
Because like a character like this, the character designs of like a lot of American movies, like American-based sort of like for some reason they have to be really scientifically accurate with their designs of creatures and stuff, or they want to make it look like this could exist in this world. Like if you look at Cloverfield, the first one, or Cloverfield, whatever it's called. Like you look at the monster that movie, the fucking monster design sucked because it looked so fucking like generic. It looked like a generic monster.
I've never seen that one.
It was fun.
I
like that.
It'll make
the sequel
me,
I heard
nauseated.
is good. No, it was a fun movie, but like the American type of style. Like, even if you remember Godzilla, the one with Matthew Broderick, like you saw how Godzilla looked was basically a T-Rex running around. I was like, what the hell is this? And J.J. Abrams, like his design, I guess his company also designed for aliens for Star Trek, the first reboot. The new versions of the film, the new trilogy that came out. Like the monster
Force
in that
Awakens?
looked just
Force Awakens.
The director of Force Awakens. No. But that's the thing. Lucasfilm took care of the designs. That's why the character designs in Force Awakens actually looked good. They didn't look like his fucking usual, like set in reality aliens. Because all I'm trying to say in the short run is that American monster design so far have sucked. They haven't been good since like. Can't say H.R. Geiger because he's German, but stuff like Predator and stuff like that. Like American designed creatures have certainly changed in the last 20 years, that they sort of all look
we're
generic.
Using CGI now, and
right, and everything is like totally like just like you look at, even if you look at the Hobgoblin in the Spider-Man movie, the one that had Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, like they made him into some sort of cyber jerk off, like he looks like a fucking robot, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And if you ever go on YouTube, I'm going to send you something on YouTube on a link right now, Danny. But talk a little bit about the troll designs in this film.
Okay, so we got the big hairy ones. Oh, the 3-headed one, that was cool.
Yeah, and I like what was their explanation for the 3 heads?
They were like tumors, basically, that were used to attract females and scare. They're basically like peacocks. Like
and I like that like those heads actually didn't they weren't like actual living heads. They were just like sort of weird fucking designs to scare off other monsters or scare off other trolls for mating reasons.
That because everything has to look like fucking sleek and cool and blah 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 blah. It's
right,
annoying.
Exactly. So that's what
everything
I think
has to be like all like cool and badass and
so I think and also I think elements of this film work. Aesthetically works, but I think that I think for an hour and 44 minutes, I think it really went way too long than it should have. That's just me. It wasn't like I disliked the movie, but I wasn't like, I think I must have heard way too much hype for this movie before, watching it. Not like it was the greatest movie ever, but everything has been positive about it. And I guess that's just my, ramping up the film so much. And but I do like it. I enjoyed it. But I don't like how it's sort of. I think it would have been a better narrative film than it is found footage, because it's cool. There's certainly cool stuff about the movie. Like if this was a movie that was like a motion ride, like you watch it in a theater and the seats move, fantastic. Right. I would love it. But watching it, like seeing small things happen for a while, I'm like, all right, let's move on to the next thing. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit,
What would you? Are we ready to do ratings?
I guess so, since you're saying it. I'll give this movie. I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. It was very good, and Hans is great as a character. I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. Not giving a shit about one of the people in your crew getting bitten by a giant troll and getting infected by rabies. Just tell him to get out of there.
Okay, I'm gonna give this a 7.5 out of 10. Not giving a shit giving a shit for about 10 minutes that your friend died.
I will give this. I will say this. I was very like I woke up like there was a part where I was watching. I was like, yeah, okay, this is towards the end, and then they had brought in the second camera girl, Malicia or Malika.
She's so hot.
Yeah, Urmila Berg Domas, the Muslim girl. Very, very,
God.
very, very pretty girl. I was like, why wasn't she in the whole fucking movie? They had that other girl. Who cares about her?
She was super hot.
I love this delicious
she's
looking
dead
woman.
now. They killed her.
And she's only been in 3 movies, so I guess she's, I don't know whether 4 movies. There you go. And Trollhunter was the last movie she was in, so oh well. Anyway, with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Red-rimmed handprints.
The horror deconstruction.